everybody, what's going on? This is Ryan with the Wizards of the North, and before we get into this tournament recap, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and make sure you check back for more Lorcana videos as well as other TCGs. Today we hosted our second major Lorcana tournament at Ogre's Den here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Like I said, this is the second major tournament that we've hosted. The first tournament was a 1K. This time we decided to do a bit different pricing structure to try and ensure that there'd be a winner. So the pricing was 2 Into the Inklands booster boxes, 1 Enchanted Hercules, and 1 customized playmat for the tournament winner. We had an incredible turnout in Ogre's Den. A lot of people traveled near and far. Western Canada has been a great hub for competitive Lorcana. We're really excited to be featuring all these great players. We're really excited to be offering more competitive events in the future. We're hoping to hold the Stitch event here in April, and then we're also going to be holding a Western Canadian Championship in August. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So after the tournament was over and we cut to the top 8, these were the deck lists, and I'll let you know who won what and what wound up winning after the fact, but we're just going to go through the top 8 here. So in number 8 we had Matthew. Matthew was playing the Steel Sapphire Cogsworth list that was popular last week at one of the major events that was taken down by Steel Song. Matt has been playing the game for a little over a month or two now. He started off in our starter league, so it's really cool to see him go from playing in the starter league all the way up to top 8ing a major event like this. So congrats to Matt for that one. In 7th place, we had another Calgary resident, Luke. Luke was piloting the Jafar combo deck list. Now, this is one that I admittedly I'm not a fan of this list just because it takes too many pieces to get going. It's such a glass cannon, but the people that can make it work. And Luke was one of those players yesterday. So congrats to Luke. Again, he finished in 7th place. And then moving on to 6th place, we have Alex, who is on the Amethyst Ruby list. Kind of the control-y aggro, kind of a mix of both. You get to get those early bounce shenanigans while you get the late game control in the form of some Elsas, some Medusas. I think he runs the Lady Tremaine as well. So really good list. Alex is actually the player that finished in 1st place at the end of our last 1K tournament. So again, another local guy here in Calgary, one of the better players that has been playing the game since day one, and he's always at the top of these tournaments. In 5th place, we have Anthony, who was piloting the Ruby Sapphire. I guess they're calling it the McChicken or the McDuck or the McNugget Happy Meal deck or something like that. It was popularized by another Lorcana YouTuber in the last week or so. But again, it's kind of trying to make popsicles work. Eventually, one day someone's going to make it happen. Anthony was able to do that up to a 5th place spot in this event. In 4th place, we have Silas, who was again piloting another Ruby Amethyst deck, very similar to the list that Alex was playing. And I think all of these lists are going to be the same, these Ruby Amethyst decks. You really only have 1, maybe 2 cards that are flex spots, and outside of that, everything else is usually going to be the same. The same is the case for David, who finished in 3rd place, who again is piloting our second Jafar list to make it into the top 8. And again, David masterfully maneuvered some of these games, or be playing a Jafar deck. There was a game I watched where he just had to kind of scoop on turn 2 because he just did not have anything, and that is the nature of these Jafar decks. But he was able to ride it out into the top 8 and a subsequent finals appearance, which we will get to in a moment. In 2nd place, we had Kevin, and Kevin was piloting the Steel Song deck list that won the last tournament last week. Again, masterfully piloted this list to a top 8 performance, and it's just such a good deck. It's such value. There's always an answer for almost everything that your opponents can do, and if you're not getting rid of those Cinderellas, if you're not getting rid of those aerials, and if they're not whiffing on those aerials, you might as well start thinking about your game 2 game plan, because it's a snowball that gets rolling so fast, and before you know it, it's out of control. And then finishing in 1st place after the tournament portion of the day was Keith, who was playing, and one of my personal favorite lists is the Amber Ruby Mufasa Roulette list. So Obviously, a lot of creatures, a couple of cards that are going to help protect you. You want to hit those Be Prepared. You want to hit those, those problem cards. Obviously, we don't like having Let It Go hit our Mufasas. So Keith was able to pilot this to a first place finish. And again, I think a lot of these players, when you're playing an entirely creature deck and people are playing Steel that has 24, 26 spells that are all damage or all removal, well, you're playing Mufasa. I want that stuff removed. So great job by Keith piloting this into first place. And before we get into the results of the top 8, I personally would just like to take a special moment to highlight my personal favorite deck from the weekend. And it was piloted by our friend Nick, and Nick was running Emerald Steel Discard with a 69 card list. That's right. Emerald Steel Discard with a 69 card list. The only thing that could have potentially made this deck any cooler was if he was playing with sleeves that had 420 written on them. The internet cool trifecta, ladies and gentlemen. But it was still cool to watch this deck happen nonetheless. Really cool to watch Nick pilot it. I'm going to have to ask him some questions or do a deck profile on it because, again, it was just a lot of fun to watch, and just the memes from behind it, it was just, oh man, so much fun to watch. But without further ado, we are going to get into the results of the top 8. So we had Keith piloting Mufasa against Matt playing Steel Sapphire, and Matt was able to take down Keith. So the 8th place player defeated number 1. We also had Kevin piloting Steel Song against Luke, who was piloting Jafar. Kevin was able to pull out on that one. We had Alex versus David, Jafar versus Ruby Amethyst Control. Jafar was able to seize the day on this one. And then finally, we had Anthony versus Silas. So Anthony on the Popsicles Ruby Sapphire list, and Silas able to control the action with the Ruby Amethyst bounce strategy. Then moving into the top 4, we had Silas playing against David. And again, it was Jafar who was able to squeak out his second victory against the Ruby Amethyst Control in the top 8, while Kevin was able to narrowly squeak a victory out against Matt. And then finally, in the finals, we had Kevin playing Steel Song against David, who was running the Jafar list, and it was Kevin who was able to take it in 2 games. Again, David had a great showing, but at the same time, Jafar really showed its true colors where, and I'll have to go back and check the footage, but I believe it was the second game on like turn 2 or turn 3, David could do nothing but just kind of shake his head and scoop, because such is the nature of Jafar. So this has been our tournament recap. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know down in the comments below. We were able to fire with a total of 29 players. I like to think all the players had a great time. I know we had a lot of fun hosting it. We had a lot of fun judging it. We had a lot of fun just throwing the entire thing in general. Like I said, we will be doing the Stitch Championship event here in April, and then we're going to be throwing a Western Canadian Championship event that we will be hopefully streaming in its entirety. Definitely will be recording, and that'll be taking place in August. So make sure you check back for that, and make sure you check back for all of the footage from this event, as we will be uploading all of our feature matches from, I believe it is round 2 up into the finals. And those will be coming up this week on YouTube, so make sure you check back for that. So until next time, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.